Chapter 32. Sitting comfortably propped up on pillows, Clinty sipped a beaker of barley wine as he listened to the improbable tale spun by Scylla and Fangburn. They both fidgeted nervously during the course of their deceitful narrative, trying desperately not to contradict one another while at the same time avoiding the cold and passive eye of the warlord. It was like this, Chief, Fangburn stammered. Me and old Redtooth were keeping our eye on the fox here, when suddenly Redtooth hears a noise in the woods, so off he goes to investigate. Where's the noise coming from? Clinty snapped. The deceivers spoke together. North, west, said Fangburn simultaneously. Oh, it was sort of northwest. Scylla gulped, realizing how foolish she sounded, knowing what Clinty was smarter than either of them. She wished she hadn't have this big dumb rat to corroborate the story. So Redtooth went off to see what the noise was, Scylla. We told him not to go, sir, but he insisted. Clinty watched Scylla's legs shaking. Go on, what happened then? Fangburn took it up the tale again. Well, you see, Chief, he was gone for an awful long time. We both called out to him, but there was no answer. So we both went to look for him, Scylla said. Clinty toyed with the beggar, his eyes bored into the fox. We searched and searched, sir, but all we could find was a big stretch of marshland and bog, which poor old Redtooth had wandered into and been sucked down never to see again, Clinty supplemented. Scylla kept wishing the floor would open up and swallow her. Fangburn sobbed brokenly. Our poor friend Redtooth, gone forever. Yes, our poor friend Redtooth, Clinty agreed sympathetically. Suddenly his voice hardened and he shot out a question. You, how did your face get knocked about, and where did you get those long scratches from? Scylla jumped in hastily. You walked into the big thorn tree, didn't you? Yes, oh yes, I was dashing about and I didn't see it, Chief. The fox can tell you, she saw it, and if she didn't, well, I'd have told her, said Fangburn, his voice trailing off miserably. Clinty laughed mirthlessly. His fangs showed yellow and sharp. So you walked into a big thorn tree and got 2 black eyes, a torn ear, and your whole hide covered in long scratches. Fangburn stared at the floor. He had to swallow twice before he could answer. His voice subdued. That's what happened, Chief. Clinty's tone was laden with sarcasm. And then I suppose that 3 pigs with wings flew down and gave you a toffee apple each. Yes, I mean, what was that, Chief? Ouch! Fangburn dropped on one leg as Scylla kicked his ankle to silence him. You, fox, Clinty snarled. Where's the special herb you went to search for? Scylla was completely nonplussed. Special herb? Clinty hurled the breaker. It bounced off Fangburn's nose, splashing barley wine over them both. Get out of my sight, before I have you tortured and roasted, Clinty roared at the unlucky pair. There was an undignified scramble. The door slammed shut behind the conspirators. Clinty laid back and smirked. Everything was going according to plan. He had lost Redtooth, but what the devil? Redtooth had been an ambitious rat. Clinty only admired ambition in one wrote it, himself. Far off in Mossflower Wood, the night breeze stirred at the treetops gently. The moon rode in the cloudless sky, its pale light filtering through the waving foliage to create a beautiful but strange effect of shimmering, swaying carpet of the woodland floor. Asmodeus. The covering of the dead moonlit vegetation on the ground trembled and rustled. What better cover than the light breeze and hunter's moon? Gathering black eyes searched the night. A forked tongue tasted the air. A small living plant appeared to shudder as the long scaly body brushed by them, trailing its way along. Asmodeus. Softly rustling, deceptive as the speckled shadows, the huge adder roamed his domain. Patience and stealth was acquired by long experience. Sometimes the serpent would lie totally inert, awaiting the unsuspecting paw to trod too close. Other times it would raise itself, uncoiling to look into the bushes for eggs and birds on the nest. Some nights it was lean hunting. Many creatures sensed the approach of slithering evil or scented its dry, musky, death-like odor. The snake had often gone hungry as many times like this, but patience and stealth earned a lesson soon learned by a meal soon earned. At the foot of the sycamore, the adder stretched itself alongside the still form of Redtooth. Well, an unexpected bonus. There was another rat that could not scurry off. No expenditure of venom or hypothesis needed. How fortunate. The huge reptile coiled itself languishingly around the dead rodent. Asmodeus. Asmodeus. No need for brutal parties. Nature and woodland took care of its own funeral arrangements. But there was one efficient undertaker's. The adder's jaws opened in something resembling the nightmare of a smile. The pathway to eternity was opened.